Whether they look funny, act weird, adapt awkwardly, sound strange, or just seem out of place, animals are one of the most fascinating things on Earth. But what if we told you that amongst them, there are some even stranger creatures? Stay tuned, because in this video, we'll take a look at 15 of the strangest animal sightings that will leave you amazed and maybe confused. Let's start off with number 15, the giant sea worm. In 2014, a Google Earth user zooming in on New Zealand's Oak Bay noticed something pretty unsettling: a giant wake in the water with no boats nearby. Something huge was moving just under the surface, leaving a massive trail behind. What makes this freaky? Well, just hear this out. Based on the wake size, experts estimate whatever made it was at least 45 feet long. Locals think it might be a giant sea worm or a deep-sea creature nobody's ever documented. The area is full of thick underwater vegetation, meaning something could easily be hiding down there. Could it be a previously undiscovered sea serpent? Well, our world is strange, so maybe it could be. But it is in human nature. If you can't explain something that looks weird or unfamiliar, just put it to aliens, gods, or monsters. We don't know what it is, but we know that there's a lot in the ocean that we have yet to discover. The ocean covers 72%, and we know just 5. Number 14, Crabzilla. There are big crabs, and then there's whatever this thing is. We mean, just look at this. It's cute. A satellite image taken near Whitstable, England, shows what looks like a 50-foot wide crab lurking just under the surface. Nicknamed Crabzilla, this thing is twice the size of nearby boats, and if it's real, it's the biggest crab ever recorded, by a long shot. Locals claim the giant crustacean has been spotted before. Between 2013 and 2014, one eyewitness described seeing black, beady eyes on stalks and claws big enough to crush a person. Others think it's just a trick of light and shadow, maybe a sandbar that just happens to look like an ocean nightmare. But here's the thing. If Crabzilla really is out there, where did it go? A 50-foot crab doesn't just disappear. Either it was a hoax, or something that big is still hiding beneath the waves. Number 13, banana slug. If you think banana slugs are just harmless, gooey yellow mollusks, think again, because their love life is straight out of a horror movie. First off, these creatures are hermaphrodites, meaning they have both male and female reproductive organs. That might sound convenient, but things get a lot weirder. Their penis, which emerges from their head, can be as long as their entire body, proportionally making it one of the largest in the animal kingdom. Mating sessions are long, slimy, and intense, sometimes lasting for hours. But here's the kicker. Sometimes the banana slug bites off its partner's penis in a process called apophylation. The victim? Well, let's say permanently stuck as a female because the organ doesn't grow back. And when they're not busy committing slug crime, they descend from tree branches using strands of slime, just like spiders with their webs. Nature truly outdid itself with this one. Number 12, hellbenders. At nearly 2 feet long, the hellbender looks like something that slithered straight out of the Jurassic period, and for good reason. These aquatic salamanders have remained virtually unchanged for 160 million years, making them living fossils. Once found across the Ohio River tributaries, their numbers have plummeted, with fewer than 300 left in Indiana's Blue River. Pollution, habitat destruction, and accidental fishing deaths have pushed them to the brink. There's even a rumor that some ended up as a 1970s fish fry special in Harrison County, a tragic fate for such a rare creature. Despite their creepy name and bizarre, flattened bodies, hellbenders are completely harmless. They spend their days lurking under rocks, using their loose, wrinkly skin to absorb oxygen from the water. If they disappear, we lose one of the oldest amphibians on the planet, and that's a loss we can't afford. We feel very sad for these dudes. Number 11, Western hognose snake. If Hollywood ever made an Academy Award for animals, the western hognose snake would be Meryl Streep, because its acting skills are next level. When threatened, it puts on a whole Broadway performance. First, it hisses loudly, flattens its neck, and strikes like a cobra. If that doesn't work, it goes full method actor, flopping onto its back and playing dead. But this isn't just any fake death. It emits a disgusting musk, poops everywhere, and even lets its tongue dangle out limply. For extra drama, it sometimes leaks blood droplets for added realism. And if a predator, or an unlucky human, flips it right side up, the hognose immediately rolls over again, insisting on finishing the performance. The best part? Once the danger passes, it springs back to life like nothing happened. It's all an elaborate bluff, proving that in the wild, a little bit of drama can be a lifesaver. Number 10. Duobrachium sparksei. No one's going to win a spelling bee with the name Duobrachium sparksei, but until marine biologists come up with something catchier, that's what we're stuck with. This bizarre comb jelly was first discovered in 2015 off the coast of Puerto Rico, living at a bone-crushing depth of 3,900 meters. At first glance, this thing looks like a floating, gelatinous bubble. But with its long, tendril-like appendages, it's more like a tiny deep-sea hot air balloon. From another angle, it resembles a glowing box suspended in the abyss. Its most intriguing feature? Two arm-like structures, each extending foot-long tentacles that anchor it to the seafloor like a biological tether. Scientists believe these filaments help it control its movements, possibly even hunting in ways we don't yet understand. Despite its alien-like appearance, Duobrachium sparksei is still just one of many undiscovered wonders lurking in the depths. Did you fall in love with this beauty? Number 9. The Kraken. For centuries, sailors told stories about the Kraken, a sea monster so massive it could pull ships under with its tentacles. Most people wrote it off as legend, but then Google Earth picked up something strange near Antarctica. The image shows a dark shape in the water, suspiciously similar to a giant sea creature. Scientists insist it's just sail rock, a well-documented rock formation. But here's the weird part. When 19th century explorers first saw sail rock, they mistook it for a shipwreck, which means this rock has been fooling people for over 100 years. So, is it just a rock, or did Google Earth capture something thrashing in the water? The Southern Ocean is one of the least explored places on Earth, and if the Kraken was real, this is exactly where you'd expect to find it. Until someone gets down there to check, the mystery remains. Number 8. The Canadian Bigfoot. The age-old debate rages on. Is Bigfoot a proud Canadian or an all-American legend? Well, thanks to Google Earth, we might finally have an answer. A recent sighting along the Trans-Canada Highway in British Columbia has Bigfoot believers buzzing. The image? A massive, shadowy figure casually strolled along the roadside, an area typically reserved for bears, moose, and other giant furry creatures. Now, skeptics are already crying, "Tree stump," because, of course, what's more exciting, Bigfoot or a chunk of old wood? But if you take a closer look, it definitely looks more like a bipedal beast than any stationary object. Could Google Earth have accidentally captured one of the rarest sightings in cryptid history? The truth is, nobody can say for sure. Maybe it's Bigfoot. Maybe it's just an optical illusion. Or maybe, just maybe, he's finally tired of hiding and decided to take a road trip. Well, you be the judge. Number 7. Termite mounds. Okay, termites might not be as terrifying as Bigfoot, but don't underestimate them. They're tiny construction geniuses. A jaw-dropping discovery on Google Earth revealed a massive network of termite mounds in a remote Brazilian rainforest, some estimated to be 4,000 years old. To put their work into perspective, these insects moved enough soil to build 4,000 Great Pyramids of Giza. Let that sink in. A bunch of tiny bugs managed to accomplish something that would take humans thousands of years with modern machinery. Even crazier, some of these cone-shaped mounds, reaching 30 feet wide and 10 feet tall, are still actively inhabited today. Scientists now consider this one of the most extensive bioengineering feats by a single species, beating even ants. Some even claim the mounds can be seen from space. Unlikely, but still impressive. So next time you step on a termite hill, remember, you're crushing the work of master architects. Number 6. The megalodon. What's scarier than a great white shark? A megalodon, a prehistoric 50-foot-long nightmare with a bite force that could crush a car. Science tells us these beasts went extinct millions of years ago, but a recent Google Earth image from Cat Island, Bahamas, suggests otherwise. The image shows a massive, shark-like shadow lurking in the water, much bigger than any known species. Naturally, the internet exploded with theories. Is this proof that megalodons never really died out? Or just a well-timed hoax? While skeptics argue it's either a normal shark or a manipulated image, the sighting reignited the debate. Could some of these ancient predators still roam the ocean's depths, far beyond human reach? After all, the ocean is 95% unexplored. Until someone can prove otherwise, the possibility of a real-life Meg isn't completely off the table. Number 5. Loch Ness Monster. Most Loch Ness Monster hunters spend their days on boats with fancy sonar equipment. Lisa Stout, an American woman from Ohio, didn't even leave her house, and still found something. Using Google Earth, Lisa spent hours scrolling through satellite images of Loch Ness, and in 2018, she spotted a long, dark shape just beneath the surface. It had a thin neck, a hump, and was moving through the water. Basically, every classic Nessie description rolled into one. The sighting was so convincing that it was officially recorded as the 9th verified Loch Ness Monster sighting of the year. Skeptics say it could be a floating log or a shadow, but considering no one has ever debunked Nessie for good, who's to say? Lisa might have done what researchers have been trying to do for decades, find proof of something big lurking in the loch. All right, now, let's move to number 4. Pink see-through Fantasia. When a creature gets a name like this, well, you know it's going to be weird. Officially called Enypniastes, this deep-sea cucumber also goes by an even stranger nickname, the headless chickenfish. Living at depths of 2,500 meters, this bizarre jelly-like creature is almost entirely transparent, so you can see its stomach, intestines, and even its anus, no matter where you're looking from. Talk about TMI in nature. It's also bioluminescent, meaning it can glow in the dark, a handy trick for scaring off predators. But if that wasn't strange enough, this thing doesn't just sit on the ocean floor like a normal sea cucumber. It swims using tiny webbed fins, flapping gracefully through the water. Despite its ghostly appearance, it's just another seafloor scavenger, using little tentacles to scoop up sediment and feed. A living vacuum cleaner, but make it mesmerizing. Number 3. Phronima. Meet Phronima, the terrifying tiny parasite that could have easily been designed by H.R. Giger. Some even claim this deep-sea nightmare was the inspiration for the alien queen from the movie Aliens. Unlike most parasites, Phronima doesn't just suck the life out of its prey, it steals their entire body. It hunts down small, gelatinous creatures called salps, which look like living jello barrels. Using its razor-sharp claws, Phronima hollows out the salp from the inside, carving it into a macabre, see-through escape pod. And the horror doesn't stop there somehow. The salp doesn't even fully die. Its outer cells remain alive, maintaining the structure while Phronima moves in, reproduces, and continues its parasitic rampage. These creatures are found worldwide, floating through open waters instead of staying on the seafloor, making them even more unpredictable. If the alien queen had a real-life counterpart, this would be it. Number 2. Pig butt worm. You can't talk about strange ocean creatures without mentioning the one literally called the pig-butt worm, or, if you're feeling fancy, the flying buttocks. Discovered in 2007, this tiny hazelnut-sized worm is round, plump, and yes, it absolutely looks like a floating rear end. Most worms of its kind live in tubes, but not this rebel. It free floats at depths of 3,000 to 4,000 feet, drifting around in clouds of detritus. Its tiny mouth, covered in mucus, captures microscopic food particles that stick to it, so it's basically a butt-shaped deep-sea vacuum. Beyond its goofy appearance, it remains a mystery. Scientists still don't fully understand how it reproduces, what its lifespan is, or if it even has a natural predator. One thing's for sure, if there's an award for funniest deep-sea creature, the pig-butt worm wins by a landslide. What do you think about it? Number 1. Giant siphonophore. The ocean is home to some giants, but few are as bizarre as the giant siphonophore. At first glance, it looks like a single huge creature, but it's actually a colony of specialized organisms working together. Think deep-sea Voltron. Despite being as thin as a broom handle, this thing can stretch up to 150 feet long, making it one of the longest animals on Earth, outclassing even the blue whale. Each part of the siphonophore has a specific job. Some sections catch prey, others digest food, and some exist purely for movement. To hunt, it uses bioluminescent lures to attract small crustaceans, then paralyzes them with toxins similar to jellyfish venom. But here's the kicker. If brought up to the surface, its delicate body would literally burst from the change in pressure. So while it's a deadly predator in the deep, it remains a fragile ghost of the abyss. If you've enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.